Welcome dear children to today's topic. Today we are discussing combination of capacitors. Combination means two or more capacitors connected either in series or parallel. So what do you mean by series connection? So these two diagrams shows series and parallel. So what is meant by series combination? In series combination, you look in the diagram, one end of first capacitor is connected to one plate of second capacitor, but the other two plates are not connected. Okay, look in parallel, each end, that means one end connected together, second plate also connected together. So that makes the difference between parallel plate means parallel combination and series combination. So this is the example of series combination and this is parallel combination. So there can be any number of capacitors in series and parallel. Now what we are going to do is we are going to derive an expression for effective capacitance in series and in parallel. First, let's start with effective capacitance in series. So here we consider three capacitors of capacitances C1, C2 and C3 connected in series. The charges on the capacitors we have written. Potential difference also I have marked. Okay. So when they are connected in series, there is a point to be noted. That is, you look, if here the charge is plus Q and minus Q, on capacitor C2 also the charges are plus Q and minus Q. Here also plus Q and minus Q. What do you mean by that? Charges on the two plates are the same on each capacitor when they are connected in series. So that is the first point to be noted in series combination. That means charges on the two plates are the same on each capacitor. Okay. Then here we consider this, the second point. The second point means, see, we have connected the two capacitors between the three capacitors between the 2 points A and B. Okay. So across each capacitor the potential difference we took as V1, V2 and V3. So what about the potential difference across the points A and B? It will be the sum of potential differences V1, V2 and V3. That means the total potential drop across the combination is the sum of potential drops across each capacitor. Okay, so these 2 points very important with regard to that series combination. So we have the total potential drop across the combination. It is equal to the sum of potential drops across each capacitor. Now this diagram shows the equivalent capacitor. That means the three capacitors are replaced by a single capacitor. It is called equivalent capacitance or effective capacitance. So we took it as CS. S stands for series. So when the three capacitors are replaced by single one, charge remains the same. Understood? These two get neutralized. So what remains is plus Q and minus Q. So charge on the capacitor plates same. Potential difference I wrote as V. And between the same points A and B we are connecting. So what we can write, as we stated that second point, potential drop across the combination is the sum of potential drops across each capacitor. So what is it? V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay. Now for each capacitor we know V is equal to Q by C. This we already know. So this relation we can write for all the three capacitors and for the equivalent capacitor also. That is V1 is equal to Q by C1, V2 is equal to Q by C2, V3 equal to Q by C3, and for equivalent circuit we can write V is equal to Q by Cs. Okay, now substituting in that equation 1, we have Q by Cs is equal to Q by C1 plus Q by C2 plus Q by C3. So that Q on either side of the equation will get cancelled, and what we get is 1 by Cs is equal to 1 by C1 plus 1 by C2 plus 1 by C3. Okay, very important equation. So when the capacitors are connected in series, how the individual capacitance get added? They get added, that means reciprocal of the effective capacitance is equal to sum of reciprocals of individual capacitances. Okay, so we can say that effective capacitance decreases when they are connected in series. When the capacitors are connected in series, effective capacitance decreases, and the effective capacitance will be smaller than the smallest of individual capacitance. That is the point. Okay, effective capacitance will be smaller than the smallest of individual capacitance. And suppose we have n equal valued capacitors. What do you mean by equal valued capacitors? Equal valued capacitors means capacitors of same capacitance C. Like that we have n are there, n number. Okay, so by substituting in this equation, what it will be? 1 by Cs equal to 1 by C plus 1 by C plus etc. plus 1 by C. How many terms will be there in this equation? N terms, since there are n capacitors. Okay, so our equation becomes 1 by Cs is equal to n by C. N into 1 by C it is actually, so it becomes n by C, or Cs is equal to C by n. Effective capacitance Cs is equal to C by n. So this is a very important point, the two equations. This equation, no, in doing MCQ or doing problems, we have to use this equation. Now, effective capacitance in parallel. So here we have the three capacitors of capacitances C1, C2 and C3 connected in parallel. So what is the important point to be kept in mind regarding parallel combination is this, that is, when we are connecting in parallel, see, all these three ends are at the same potential. Okay, these three plates are at the same potential. Likewise, these three are at the same potential. That means potential difference across each capacitor will be same. So potential difference across each capacitor will be same when they are connected in parallel. So that's what we have written as V. Now what about the charge? Charge stored on each capacitor will be different. So we took the charges as Q1, Q2 and Q3. Now the thing is this, when we connect them in parallel, it's just like extending them, okay, to join them when they are connected in parallel. So what will be the total charge stored? Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. Got it? So when we draw the effective capacitor, we will have the charge stored as Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3. PV is equal to C1V plus C2V plus C3V. So all those V's on either side, they get cancelled, and we have Cp is equal to C1 plus C2 plus C3. Very important equation. When the capacitors are connected in parallel, effective capacitance increases. Okay, and the fact is this, effective capacitance is larger than the largest individual capacitance. Now consider the case when n equal value capacitors are connected in parallel. So what will be the equation? Cp is equal to C plus C plus etc. plus C. How many terms are there? There are n terms. So the effective capacitance Cp becomes Nc. Okay, so if n equal value capacitors are connected in parallel, effective capacitance, it becomes Cp equal to N into C. Now we will discuss one problem, that is example 2.9. A network of 4 10 microfarad capacitors is connected to a 500 volt supply as shown in figure. Determine the equivalent capacitance of the network and the charge on each capacitor. Note, the charge on a capacitor is the charge on the plate with higher potential equal and opposite to the charge on the plate with lower potential. In this question, 4 capacitors are given like this. So you have to listen to the diagram carefully, because even if when we look, we feel C2, C4 in parallel, C1, C3 in parallel. It's not like that. You look, one end of C1 is connected to C2, the other plate of C2 is connected to C3. Okay, and these two ends, they are connected to some other points. So actually C1, C2, C3, they are connected in series. That is the important point. So when I draw reduced diagram will be like this. C1, C2, C3 will come in series and C4 comes in parallel with that series combination. So with that series combination, C4 comes in parallel. So between A and D, C1, C2, C3 are connected in series and C4 is connected in parallel with that series combination. So this is the reduced diagram, and it's given all the capacitors are of equal value, that is 10 microfarad. So it is very easy to find the equivalent capacitance. So the series capacitance, that means series combination, I have replaced with the effective capacitance. Since 3 are connected in series, it becomes 10 by 3 microfarad. So this is replaced. So next reduced diagram like this. So this is 10 by 3 microfarad and C4 as such. Now 10 by 3 microfarad and this 10 microfarad, they come in parallel. So what will be the effective capacitance? Effective capacitance will be 10 by 3 plus 10, that is 13.3 microfarad. Now second part of the same question, we are asked to find charge on each capacitor. So for the 3 capacitors which are connected in series, the charge on each capacitor will be same. Okay, so how to find that capacitance, means a charge? Either you can find Q equal to C1V, like that you can find, or you can find as such, because for series combination also the charge remains the same. So for the combination, because combination capacitance we have already found, so it is better if we use this equation. Okay, Q equal to CSV, because for the combination and for each capacitor in series combination, the charge stored will be same. So using that equation, Q is equal to CSV. CS is what? 10 by 3 microfarad. V is 500 volt. Across the combination, the potential difference applied is 500 volt. So V is 500 volt. Doing the substitution and calculation, we get 1.7 into 10 raised to minus 3 coulomb. Now charge on C4, that is C4 into potential difference. Across C4 also the potential difference is 500 volt. So we will get, multiplying, we will get 5 into 10 raised to minus 3 coulomb. Now we will discuss the questions from exercises. First question, 2 charges 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb are located 16 centimeter apart. At what points on the line joining the 2 charges is the electric potential 0? Take the potential at infinity to be 0. So the thing is this, here we have two charges, okay, 5 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb and minus 3 into 10 raised to minus 8 coulomb. And the distance between the two charges is 16 centimeter. So we can consider the point P on the line joining the two charges between the two charges. So we have already discussed such a question earlier in example 1. There we have already discussed. So such a possibility can be on the line joining the two charges either in between or on either side. Either side itself I have told you have to look at the smallest charge. In the vicinity of the smallest charge only you will have such a point where the potential is 0. So in the vicinity, here the smallest one is 3 into 10 raised to minus 8, that Q2. So on left side of Q2 and on right side of Q2 you can have points. So first we consider on left side of Q2, that is in between the two charges. We assume the potential to be 0 and we will find that distance. So we are considering that point P. So at the point P, the sum of potentials is equal to 0. Sum of potentials is given by Q1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 R and Q2 by 4 pi epsilon 0 D minus R. It is that R which you have to find. D is 16 centimeter. So putting V is equal to 0, the equation becomes like this. Then simplifying, we'll get R to be 10 centimeter. That means from the positive charge at a distance 10 centimeter, the total potential is 0. Okay. Likewise, on right side of Q2, you can have a point where the potential is 0. So this diagram shows such a point on right side of Q2. Okay. So from the positive charge, we are taking the distance to be what? S. The distance to be S, and the distance to the negative charge, it becomes S minus D. Okay, so the total potential at that point becomes Q1 by 4 pi epsilon 0 S and Q2 by 4 pi epsilon 0 S minus D. Now equating it to 0 and simplifying, we'll get S to be 40 centimeter. So from the positive charge at a distance 10 centimeter and 40 centimeter, we are getting the potential to be 0. Now coming to the second question, a regular hexagon of side 10 centimeter has a charge 5 microcoulomb at each of its vertices. Calculate the potential at the center of the hexagon. So hexagon, regular hexagon means what? Each side is same. Okay, side length is 10 centimeter and at each vertex a positive charge 5 microcoulomb is kept. Got it? Now here what we need to find is, see, since it is regular hexagon and the charge is kept at the center, means at the vertices, and we are asked to find the potential. You are asked to find the potential at the center. So distance of each vertex from the center will be same. So our first step is to find that distance. So consider the triangle ABO. In regular hexagon, it is such a way that ABO will be an equilateral triangle. Okay, to the details we are not going. AB is what given. So BO and AO will be of same length. So the thing is this, from each vertex, the distance to the center will be the same as the side length of the hexagon. So using that we can easily solve this problem because the total potential will be 6 into potential due to one charge, because all the vertices are equidistant from the center of the hexagon. So it will be 6 into Q by 4 pi epsilon 0 D. Substituting, we will have 2.7 into 10 raised to 6 volt. Now coming to question 2, 3. Two charges 2 microcoulomb and minus 2 microcoulomb are placed at points A and B 6 centimeter apart. Identify an equipotential surface of the system. What is the direction of the electric field at every point on this surface? Okay. So equipotential surface is the plane on which the total potential is 0 or same. Here it is very easy to consider a plane on which total potential is 0, because equatorial plane will be such a plane. We already studied in the case of a dipole. This is the case with a dipole. Dipole, the potential on the equatorial plane will be 0. So here that equipotential surface becomes the equatorial plane, that is the plane which is normal to the line joining the two charges passing through the center. So at the midpoint, through the midpoint of the line AB, assume a plane which is perpendicular to it. In that plane, the potential will be 0 and that will be an equipotential surface. And the direction of the electric field at every point on the surface is normal to the plane in the direction AB. Fourth question, a spherical conductor of radius 12 cm has a charge 1.6 into 10 raised to minus 7 coulomb distributed uniformly on its surface. What is the electric field inside the sphere, just outside the sphere, and at a point 18 cm from the center of the sphere? Actually, this concept belonged to previous chapter. We know it is, if it is a spherical conductor, no, inside the conductor the field will be equal to 0. Just outside the conductor means on the surface. So it becomes q by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square, where r is that radius. So substituting the value, you will get 10 raised to 5 Newton per coulomb. Do the calculation. Okay, then at a distance 18 meter from the center of the 18 centimeter from the center of the sphere means q by 4 pi epsilon 0 d square, because that field behaves as if the whole charge is kept at the center. So by using that equation, you can calculate that electric field. So that is just like previous chapter problem. Now coming to question 2.5, a parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates has a capacitance 8 picofarad. What will be the capacitance if the distance between the plates is reduced by half and the space between them is filled with a substance of dielectric constant 6? So first let's find the capacitance. Okay, so what will be the case? So first of all, it is given with the air, the capacitance is 8 picofarad. Okay, so C we took as 8 picofarad. Now the gap is filled with a dielectric whose dielectric constant is 6, and the distance between the plates is reduced to half. So first we write C equal to epsilon 0 A by D, where C is 8 picofarad. Now we know if the distance between the plates is reduced to half, then the new distance becomes D by 2. And now K is 6. So the new capacitance C dash is equal to K into, because it becomes K times epsilon 0 A by D dash it is, because now the distance is D by 2. So it becomes 6 epsilon 0 A by D by 2. So it becomes 12 epsilon 0 A by D. Epsilon 0 A by D is nothing but C, that is 8 picofarad. So our answer becomes what? 12 into 8, that is 96 picofarad. Now question 2.6. 3 capacitors of capacitance 9 picofarad are connected in series. What is the total capacitance? Easy one, because 9 no, so 9 picofarad by 3, so it will be 3 picofarad. Then what is the total capacitance? Then what is the potential difference across each capacitor if the combination is connected to a 120 volt supply? So how will we find the potential difference? It is equally divided, no, because equal value capacitors are there. You know, total what potential difference is the sum of potential difference across each one. We wrote no, V is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Here, since each capacitor has the same capacitance, that potential difference will be divided equally among the three. So 120 volt is applied means each capacitor will have a potential difference of 120 by 3, that is 40 volt. Now coming to next one, question 2.7. 3 capacitors, 2 picofarad, 3 picofarad and 4 picofarad are connected in parallel. So what is the total? So it will be what? 5 plus 4, 9 picofarad. Determine the charge on each capacitor if the combination is connected to 100 volt supply. So the thing is this is parallel combination. So potential difference will be the same across each one. So across each one, the potential difference will be 100 volt. Okay. So we'll have the voltage or the charge on each capacitor will be that capacitance into 100. So it will be 2 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb, 3 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb and 4 into 10 raised to minus 10 coulomb. Easy questions. Now coming to that means exercise question 2.8. In a parallel plate capacitor with air between the plates, each plate has an area 6 into 10 raised to minus 3 meter square and distance between the plates is 3 millimeter. Calculate the capacitance of the capacitor. So which equation to use? Epsilon 0 A by D. Calculate the capacitance, and if this capacitor is connected to 100 volt, what is the charge on each plate? That means Q equal to CV. So direct substitution problem only. So we'll get the capacitance after doing calculation as 17.71 into 10 raised to minus 12 farad. Okay, then Q you can find by multiplying it with potential difference. So it will be 1.771 into 10 raised to minus 9 coulomb. So only this much for today. The rest we will continue in the next class. Thank you.